welcome back to my channel. So I'm really excited to bring today's video for you because I've been crafting all day long. I'm not gonna lie, I've had about 4 lots of coffee today. I'm trying to kick the Coca-Cola habit, replacing it with coffee because I think that's a little bit healthier. But you know, I'm on one today, I'm not going to lie to you. So yeah, I'm really excited to bring today's video to you. I have in fact DIY'd a few of the thrift store finds that I found in last weekend's video. I think I posted it this weekend actually, but like the one just gone. But yeah, I've upcycled a few of those pieces just as I thought about in my head, and to be honest, they've come out exactly how I'd hoped. So we're on a roll here. We're doing the good DIYs. We've got it going on, you know? So I'm just going to stop rambling. I'll meet you back here after all of the upcycling.
So the first piece that I'm going to be upcycling today is actually this little gin student sign, which is actually from Next, but I found it in a charity shop. I think it was about 50p, 3 for £1, something around there. Now the idea that I had for this was actually to turn it into an ice cream sundae to go with my ice cream summer decor trend, but I decided, considering I've left it so long, I may as well turn it into a pumpkin spice latte. So that's exactly what I went ahead and tried to do. So I sawed off part of the straw on the very top, and don't worry, I didn't actually saw it like you've seen on camera. I did take it away and saw it a little bit, you know, more safely, but for the purpose of the video I did include a clip with me sawing it, but don't worry, no fingers were harmed in the making of that clip. So what I went ahead and then did was took a piece of hardboard and I just drawed out the shape of some whipped cream. I then decided to hot glue that onto the piece where that straw was, but unfortunately it was too far back, so I just used a few more bits of hardboard on there and I just made sure that I had a good kind of base to glue it onto. I laid on some hot glue on the top of the edge of the cup as well, and then placed it on, making sure to wipe off any excess hot glue also. I then left that to dry and fully set, and also went in and hot glued the back just to make sure it was, you know, fully set in place. Like, we didn't want the whipped cream falling off, because what's a pumpkin spice latte without the whipped cream, huh? Anyway, so I went ahead and I also cut off a little bit of hardboard to act as a pumpkin little stalk for that lime that was on there, and then I painted the whole thing in a orange chalk paint. This orange colour is actually called Pumpkin by Rust-Oleum. It's one of those colours that I've had for the longest of times but never used it. I actually wanted it to make a crate out in the garden, but I still haven't got around to doing that, so definitely I need to be held accountable and do that. So I painted the very top in the Hessian coloured chalk paint from the same brand yet again, and then using a white Posca pen I just went ahead and wrote the word pumpkin spice. I did thicken it up off of camera because, to be honest, this took me so long. The Posca pen didn't really like writing on the chalk paint, and yeah, I had to really persevere here. So if you're doing this, then be wary that the Posca pens sometimes are just a little bit rubbish on chalk paint. As you can see here, I fully gave up with it. I actually just painted the rest in because I probably was sat there for a good 20 minutes, you know, with that pen. It wasn't working. Anyway, I then went ahead and moved on to the little lime, and I tried to turn that into a pumpkin, but in all reality I'm pretty aware that it does look like a basketball, so I do cut that off in a bit, so don't worry. I then use some brown acrylic paint and just dry brush that on to make the whipped cream look whippier. I don't know what you'd call that. I tried to add a bit of shading, make it look a little bit more vintage, and to be honest, I probably should have stopped there. This was as good as this piece looked overall, but today I decided it needed to be aged and it needed to be like a bit more vintage looking, and I think I ruined it, but let me know what you think in a second. So first of all, I applied some white chalk paint over it with dry brush on it. I thought this kind of looked good, and I was like, you know what, that basketball, it's got to go. So I chopped that off, and then I thought, I know, I'm going to use the technique where you use stain over paint. That'll make it look nice and aged, and whilst it did, I think it also ruined it. It looks nice and vintagey, but I don't know, I'm not 100% convinced on the first DIY, so that's why I've got that one out the way. So moving on to the second one, this one here is my favourite. We started off a bit weak, I know, but this one here goes on strong, I promise. So these are the two chopping boards that I bought in the charity shop last week, I do believe it was. It was very recently, from my most recent trip into the charity shops. And what I decided to do was sand them completely black and then stain them. So the thing was, I stained this big one first, didn't like it, so decided to paint this one. I used the colour Sage Green in the Rust-Oleum chalk paint again. I promise you, my videos are not sponsored by Rust-Oleum. I wish they were, because I feel like I spend my whole life savings on Rust-Oleum. But anyway, a girl can dream, it's okay. So I thought the green was a bit flat, a bit boring, so I actually went in with some duck egg coloured chalk paint in the same again, and I just brushed that on, gave it a bit more kind of oomph, you know, and it really did work out. Really like the colour. So on the small chopping board, again, sanded it back and then stained that one, and this one here I really liked. So I just slapped a whole load of stain on, and using a microfiber I rubbed off the excess. As you can see here, this is me doing it in real time with my big brush, slapping it on, getting my microfiber and then just buffing the excess out. This is how I like to apply my stain, but I know other people do it in different ways. I then decided I would put a little picture of a pumpkin on the front, so I just went ahead and I painted it using the same colour as I did the bigger board. This was just Sage Green by Rust-Oleum in the chalky furniture paint. You can buy these little tubs, which is what I like to do, so I have the huge array of colours, for anywhere between about £3 and £5 a tin. I have managed to find them as little as 25p a tin in some home-based clearances and that sort of stuff, so always keep an eye out. That's probably why I have pretty much every single colour of these in my paint cupboard. So I moved on and I actually used a little bit of acrylic and some of that duck egg again to add some shadows, add some highlights onto the little pumpkin. I then used the same brown acrylic to paint on a stalk, just using a tiny paintbrush. Now, my plan actually for this small chopping board was to put words on it. I was going to write hello fall or something like that, but I do intend to do another thrift store DIY which has a lot of words on, so I thought for this one I'm going to keep it simple and paint the pumpkin on and just leave it as that. So once I had all the shading and everything like that done on the stalk of the pumpkin as well, I then went ahead and just sealed it all in with some clear wax. I like to use clear wax on my pieces because it doesn't yellow and it helps to protect it from any water splashes or anything like that may occur in the future. I have recently used polyurethane on one of my projects and it ruined it beyond compare because it yellowed so bad, so I would recommend just sticking with the good old clear wax. So this is what the two chopping boards have turned out like. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. The colour is perfect for my kitchen and I cannot wait to display these on my mantelpiece for the autumn decor that I do on there. So yeah, really happy with this. I think the colours, they just look beautiful and that's what they've turned out like. For the third and final thrift store DIY today, I decided to upcycle this wine cooler. If you'd seen my thrift haul on the weekend, you would have seen I picked this up because I was just drawn to that silver plate on the front. So what I went ahead and did to begin with, by the way, how annoying is it that I say I went ahead and did? I just say that all the time. Anyway, ignore that. But I just painted the very top of it in a black acrylic paint. I then used this black acrylic just on a few places around the pot, just where I knew I wanted to de-stress it, so that when I did, you would see the black coming through. So I then just used some white chalk paint, again Rust-Oleum, I just love that brand, honestly, and I just painted all over the whole of the pot, making sure to get all in the nooks and crannies of that silver piece. Don't worry if you get it on it, chalk paint comes off a beauty, and I just made sure to cover it all over, making sure that the brush strokes were all going horizontally. So as I said, don't worry about getting any white chalk paint on any metal because it comes off so easily. Just with a wet microfiber cloth, you just can buff it away and it comes off just perfectly. You'll get a few smears, just get a clean bit of microfiber. Oh, look at that shine. Buff it off again with a bit of wet, buff it off with a bit of dry, back and forth, and you will get a perfect shine again. So I use the same technique, buffing off all the way around the edges to give me some black distressing back through. I know a few people have commented on this in the past saying that using the black acrylic is a waste doing it this way, but I like the fact that the white paint is on top of the black rather than the fake kind of, you know, brushing of the black on top of the white. I don't know, I'm a bit weird about it, so I like to do it in this order. So this is what the wine cooler turned out like. Absolutely love it. Look at that silver piece on there, absolutely beautiful. The distressing up here is lovely. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna style this yet, but I think it's gonna be on the mantle in the kitchen so that I can use it as part of my autumn decor. I think it will be perfect going into Christmas as well, and I'm just obsessed with it. So yeah, all day today I have been DIYing. I've also DIY'd a autumn wreath, which is actually up on my door now, so I'll bring that to you in a couple of days time. I don't want to bombard your subscription boxes, but yeah, really happy with that wreath actually. But yeah, let me know which one of these 3 DIYs was your favorite today, whether it was the chopping boards, the like planter pot thingy, or whether it was the little pumpkin spice sign. Mine definitely were the chopping boards. I'm still not sure where I'm going to put that pumpkin spice sign. Not too happy with the colour it's come out. It's come out so bright, but it is what it is. I've DIY'd it that colour. I'm going to put it somewhere, so you'll have to stay tuned for my decor tour, which will be coming. That's right, I'm going to do my first home decor tour on this channel. I'm basically doing it in preparation for my Christmas one, so I'm all prepared, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited to bring that for you as well. So please do give this video a thumbs up if you have a spare second or two, or unless you really didn't like this video and I really got on your nerves, give it a dislike. It all helps with engagement. You know how it is on YouTube, a bit backwards, but dislikes help the channel for some reason, but likes obviously help it more. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon for the wreath DIY that I was talking about just a second ago. Bye!